The day the military feared is finally arrived for the woke generals, that is. Donald Trump just dropped a tactical nuke on the Pentagon social experiment. No more DEI training, no more gender ideology, no more transgender troops. And Pete Hegseth isn't just talking about change, he's enforcing it with immediate effect. The left is screaming, activists are melting down, and progressive politicians are in full panic mode. But here's what they won't tell you about today's executive orders. It's not just about military policy, it's about restoring America's fighting force to what it was always meant to be. While President Trump purges weakness from our military, let's talk about strengthening your body. Just like our armed forces are getting back to peak performance, this clean, low-carb protein powder helps you build strength and stay mission ready. A 2023 study proves that cutting out excess carbs and sugars maximizes your potential, just like cutting out DEI maximizes military readiness. Visit buildwithgary.com and claim your free bag of grass-fed protein powder. Power up your body while Trump powers up our military. That's buildwithgary.com for your free protein power supply. And here we go. President Trump issuing guidance to the U.S. Department of Defense on Monday aimed at, among other things, reshaping the U.S. military's approach to diversity, equity, and inclusion. 5 days ago, DEI died. President Trump ordered federal DEI staff to be placed on paid leave. This was the official memo that went out on the 21st and sent shockwaves through Washington, D.C. Now, Biden's DOD had a DEI hiring program. Kamala Harris, DEI hire. Pete Buttigieg, DEI. Rachel Levine, DEI. Biden administration was the DEI administration. Pete Hegseth and every one of President Trump's cabinet pick was nominated based on merit. Here's Pete Hegseth at his confirmation hearing.
They're dividing, and you're precisely right. The military was a forerunner in courageous racial integration in ways no other institutions were willing to do. I served with men and women of all backgrounds because of the courage of people decades and decades ago. Incredibly important. However, the DEI policies of today are not the same as what happened back then. They're dividing troops inside formations, causing commanders to walk on eggshells, not putting meritocracy first. That's the indictment that's made by those serving right now.
Excuse me.
And why we're having this conversation.
And President Trump removing DEI from the military.
The first executive order will eradicate all DEI out of the United States military. Also historic.
And then we have this meme, beautiful DEI, President Trump giving it all. DEI, Donald Trump ended it. No more of this will we see in our administration or in our military. Trump completely destroying it, tasked with ending all DEI-related mandates. The Office of Management and Budget, with assistance from Attorney General and Office of Personnel Management, tasked with ending all DEI-related mandates, policies, and activities. Within 60 days, each federal agency must terminate DEI offices, positions, and programs. Report to OMG about past DEI activities, including any attempts to rebrand the initiatives and to bypass the new policy. Assess and report the operational impact and cost of previous DEI initiatives, and a monthly meeting is set up to monitor compliance and progress towards implementing the new policy. And here it is, 5 hours ago, President Trump announcing a new slate of executive orders. Direct Defense Secretary to immediately begin construction of an Iron Dome, get transgender ideology out of our military, and stop service members from being indoctrinated with CRT. This was in Miami hours ago.
And in a little while, I'll be signing 4 new executive orders. First is that I'm directing our new Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, who's going to be great, by the way. Thank you for the support. Thank you very much for the support. You really did support him greatly. I think he's going to be fantastic. I know him very well. I think he's going to be fantastic. He's what we need. To immediately begin the construction of a state-of-the-art Iron Dome missile defense shield, which will be able to protect Americans. You know, we protect other countries, but we don't protect ourselves. And when Ronald Reagan wanted to do it many years ago, luckily we didn't. We didn't have the technology then. It was a concept, but we didn't. And now we have phenomenal technology. You see that with Israel. We're out of 319 rockets. They knocked down just about every one of them. So I think the United States is entitled to that. And everything will be made right here in the USA, 100%. And next, to ensure that we have the most lethal fighting force in the world, we will get transgender ideology the hell out of our military. It's going to be gone. In addition, we will stop our service members from being indoctrinated with radical left ideologies such as critical race theory. We're going to stop it. It's already been stopped. It's already been halted, totally halted. And finally, we will offer full reinstatement to any service member who was expelled from the armed forces due to the COVID vaccine mandate. And we will restore them to their former rank with full pay. And
absolutely beautiful. Here is Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth. Border security under his leadership, we will eliminate DEI in the military and refocus DOD's priorities.
That is something the Defense Department absolutely will continue to do. And today, there are more executive orders coming that we fully support on removing DEI inside the Pentagon, reinstating troops who were pushed out because of COVID mandates, Iron Dome for America. This is happening quickly. And as the Secretary of Defense, it's an honor to salute smartly, as I did as a junior officer and now as the Secretary of Defense, to ensure these orders are complied with rapidly and quickly. Every moment that I'm here, I'm thinking about the guys and gals in Guam, in Germany, Fort Benning and Fort Bragg, on missile defense sites and aircraft carriers. Our job is lethality and readiness and warfighting. We're going to hold people accountable. I know the chairman agrees with that. The lawful orders of the President of the United States will be executed inside this Defense Department swiftly and without excuse. We will be no better friend to our allies and no stronger adversary to those who want to test us and try us. So, Mr. Chairman, thank you. Welcome to me today. I look forward to serving the troops, the warriors of this department. It's the honor of a lifetime, and we're going to get to work. God bless you all. This right here is Jorge Oliveira. He was killed in Afghanistan. He was asked about what I wear on my wrist every single day. It was a troop I served with, a soldier I served with in Guantanamo Bay when I was platoon leader. He was killed in Afghanistan, not in my unit, but when I was there. It's these guys that we do this for, those that have given the ultimate sacrifice.
Amen. Sanity is returning to the Department of Defense. Here is the executive order banning trans service members and military DEI programs set to be signed. From DEI to JFK, Trump's Week 1 blitz quickly reshapes government and redirects America's focus. That's the headline at the Washington Times. If DEI is such a good thing, then why do you get upset when you call someone a DEI hire? Great question. Pete Hegseth hits the ground running, guts Pentagon DEI programs. And here we have this. This is the trans Minnesota State Representative Leigh Finke says that Trump banning trans service members will only make our military less ready on CNN.
And there is no evidence anywhere that has been presented that transgender service members are anything but qualified to be a part of our military service. The military is the largest employer of transgender Americans. You heard up to 14,000, 15,000 members identify as trans, and 56 of our retired generals have said that our trans members are ready to serve. They are fit to serve. This will only make our military less ready to serve by taking 15,000 people who volunteered out of service.
So the order also talks about, as Natasha noted, this fact sheet. It said it can take a minimum of 12 months for an individual to complete treatments after transition surgery, which often involves the use of heavy narcotics. During this period, they are not physically capable of meeting military readiness requirements and require ongoing medical care. This is not conducive for deployment or other readiness requirements. I want to get your response to that, but also I spoke to Chris Beck on the phone this morning. You may remember him. He was a Navy SEAL who became a transgender woman, and then he transitioned back. He told me he agrees what President Trump is doing and said, quote, they're 100% unfit for duty. They're on pills and different surgeries, and you have complications with surgeries. You cannot deploy even if you have tooth issues. I'm curious, what do you say to all of that?
I would say that those are decisions that are best made by doctors and patients, including military doctors. This is another version of our political discriminatory MAGA Republicans trying to use pseudoscience to discriminate against an entire demographic of people. There is no evidence anywhere that has been presented that transgender service members are any.
Wow. Pete Hegseth knows what needs to happen with anyone who supports DEI in our military. This was published 6 days ago.
Whatever that was involved. Well, first of all, you got to fire. You got to fire the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, and you got to fire this. I mean, obviously, you're going to bring in a new Secretary of Defense, but any general that was involved, general, admiral, whatever that was involved in any of the DEI woke shit, it's got to go.
Got to go. Here we have a trans veteran says the military must provide a space where transgender individuals can serve with authenticity, or their performance will be dampened. This is a post from Benny Johnson just 9 hours ago. This is another CNN clip.
Members of the is the support of great command and leadership. And when you are able to provide a space where we value and we show that value of our members of the team, it allows them to really bring their full selves to the fight. And by doing away with that, we violate our integrity on a daily basis because we can't bring our full selves to the fight. So if you're not having service members serve in their authenticity and serve and bring their full selves to that fight, we are not effective as we would like to be.
I mean, why not just put them, put them all in their own unit and send them to fight Hamas or send them to Ukraine, right? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You know what I'm saying here. Okay. We got some more here. Here's the memo that Pete Hegseth put out. This is an official Secretary of Defense memo, SecDef 29. DOD is not equal to DEI. No exceptions, name changes, or delays. Those who do not comply will no longer work here. Bye-bye. This is an official post from the new head of the DOD. President's guidance is clear. No more DEI at the Department of Defense. Trump to issue new executive order banning transgenders from the military. Trump is bringing sanity and might back into our military. 2 new executive orders will be initiated. Americans deserve better than a trust their national security. This is what you get when you hire for diversity instead of merit. You get the Biden administration. Josh Burnett of Arizona, conservatives with common sense. You know what to do when Costco keeps up with this BS. I'll be canceling our membership effective today. Al Sharpton leading Costco boycott to support the company's DEI commitment. I guess Costco is doubling down. Costco's doubling down on their DEI policies. So I guess Al Sharpton decided to bring his whole crew to go shopping at Costco. Did they check everyone's membership cards? I mean, that's a lot of people to check membership cards. Or maybe they're just going to the food court for the $1.50 hot dogs. I don't know. I mean, or that big-ass slice of pizza. Because I don't think all those people are Costco members. I mean, I could only imagine the guy at the door freaking out, asking everyone for their ID, and then we're just walking past him. Yeah, that's what's going on over there at Costco. The truth about DEI, here's Rob Smith, created by and for white liberal women who benefit the most. Blacks given front-facing vanity positions as DEI heads and take all the heat now that it's unpopular. White liberal women move on. It happens all the time. Listen.
The DEI diversity. Let me give you the truth about DEI, because I think that a lot of people really don't understand that basically every other race was eating off of DEI before blacks. It's just that we were the ones that took the hits for it. So let me just break down some of the numbers. The people that were the biggest beneficiaries of the DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, they were number one, white women. Number two, it ended up being everybody that was not black. So let me tell you a little story. I used to be an ad man on Madison Avenue. So the first opportunity I got in the ad industry was through the 4As. They had something called the Minority Advertising Internship Program, which was supposed to help get black people into advertising. Of course, I was fully qualified to get a job, but I ended up doing that internship. And what I've seen over the years, number one, there weren't that many black people in it. I was like maybe like 1 of 5. And over the years, that particular program has less black people and more Latinos, Asians, Indians, white women, etc. Basically anybody that is quote unquote diverse but blacks. So I think it's really interesting with the DEI conversation, how black people have become the scapegoats for something that we are really not even the beneficiaries of all that much, aside from a couple of people that are at the top getting a lot of corporate money to just be trotted around the planet, being, you know, the diversity hire and the kind of like face of the DEI. So I didn't wade into that conversation a lot, but I do think that it is very interesting how black people became the scapegoats for something that was created for us, but was overtaken by everybody but us. Let me give you the truth about DEI, because I think that a lot of
Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth tossing out DEI name changes and all of it. So the gig is up. We will have our military focusing on being the ultimate fighting force, not the ultimate hormone therapy source. The transformation of our military under Trump's leadership is nothing short of revolutionary. From dismantling DEI programs to reinstalling traditional standards of service, we're watching the restoration of America's fighting force in real time. Trans activists like Minnesota State Representative Leigh Finke can complain all they want, but the facts are clear. Our military exists to defend America, not advance a social agenda. But here's the question that's making progressive establishment squirm. If DEI programs and gender ideology were really about making our military stronger, why are our enemies celebrating every time we embrace these policies? Share your thoughts below. Should the military focus on fighting wars or fighting systemic oppression? Stand strong with our new Mega Avengers collection at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com.